This issue here on religious freedom versus public spaces. I have in studio Rabbi Dov Halbertal, who is the senior aide to Israel's former chief rabbi. Also with me is Rachel Stomel. She is a director with the Center for Women's Justice, also a co-founder of the Wisdom of Women group. Rachel, I want to start with you live for us in Jerusalem. This is a one-time event, a one-time concert at a park. Why is it so outrageous or so wrong that the Ultra-Orthodox want to respect their customs at this event? They want to put up signs and have some barriers. What's so wrong with signs?
So what we need to understand here is that this doesn't exist in a vacuum. This comes after a long spate of instances in Israel where there's gender segregation that is imposed by the state. I want to make a big distinction between self-imposed segregation between the sexes and state-imposed. So this event in particular in Afula we were talking about was it was funded by the municipality. It was a state event. And because it's a state event in a public space, the law is very clear that we cannot have gender segregation in public spaces. Of course, individuals are free to sit wherever they want, according to their own religious preferences, but the state and state funds cannot be used to segregate.
In an event like this, Rachel, the fact that the attendees of this event, this is an ultra-Orthodox musical event, they would want the gender segregation. Both the men and the women support it legally, should that matter.
Well, if the men and women both support it, that doesn't really matter in terms of what's legal and what's not. Just to flip this around, let's say there was something with segregation between blacks and whites. You wouldn't say if people want it, it should be legal, because that's not how the law works. If something is illegal and segregation is illegal, then it is considered discrimination, and it won't happen.
I want to turn now in studio to Rabbi Halbertal. Rabbi, this is not a synagogue or a religious place of worship. This is a public park, paid for and supported by public tax dollars. Why, in your mind, why should there be state-sponsored sex segregation in a public space?
I think this decision is anti-liberal and anti-democratic. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's silly. Against the common sense, against everything. We are not human beings. What's going on? We are not citizens here in Israel. We are not paying taxes. In a public place, we have no right to make one show out of hundreds in our values. What's going on? It will not sing without the separation. People will not come without the separation. It means that it's the first time in Israel, one of the first time, maybe the first time, that a decision out of the court, it's coming against the religion. It's not that they take a freedom for non-religious. It's against the religion.
Rabbi,
what's going on?
The men and women can sit separately. They will sit separately. It's that the state can't force it with barriers. There can't be signs because it's a public space. On a bus, I mean, men and women can sit separately on a bus, but the state can't force it. It's public.
They will force it once in 100 years. I don't know. They can force it if they want. They don't want. They are kind of racist. It's amazing. I'm not a citizen. I'm not a human being. What's going on? All the ultra-Orthodox people in this round of Afula and far away, they will come in thousands. He's a very good singer, a very popular, very known one. They will come from everywhere. They have no right to enjoy once in I don't know, out of hundreds of shows or other shows. Okay. What's that? It's a cruel decision.
Rachel,
it's stupid.
Rachel, I want to get your response to the argument or the feeling that in the ultra-Orthodox community, this could be a human rights violation on their human rights.
So according to the law, we have to be very careful not to confuse the tolerance for people's religious sensitivities versus not discriminating against individuals. So lots of times the guise of multiculturalism is used to trample women's rights. Women's rights are always the first to go in these sort of situations. Rabbi Dov Halbertal brought up the idea of, aren't we humans and don't we also deserve rights? And that's exactly, I think, what the women in the situation are coming to say. Yes, we are humans and we deserve human rights, and segregation is discrimination, which is not allowed by the law.
All right, Rachel Stomel with the Center for Women's Justice, thank you so much.